I agree with and believe in the communist ideology which seeks the well-being of human beings in general and the proletariat in particular, and in Lenin's policy of the equality of nationalities. Happiness does not come about only due to external circumstances. It mainly derives from inner attitudes. To study Buddhism and then use it as a weapon in order to criticize others' theories or ideologies is wrong. The very purpose of religion is to control yourself, not to criticize others. As a result of more contact with people from other traditions, as time passes, I have firmed my conviction that all religions can work together despite fundamental differences in philosophy. True peace with oneself and with the world around us can only be achieved through the development of mental peace. The great vehicle path requires the vast motivation of a bodhisattva, who, not seeking just his or her welfare, takes on the burden of bringing about the welfare of all sentient beings. Buddhism does not accept a theory of God or a creator. According to Buddhism, one's own actions are the creator, ultimately. Human happiness and human satisfaction must ultimately come from within oneself. Inner peace is the key. If you have inner peace, the external problems do not affect your deep sense of peace and tranquility. Reason well from the beginning, and then there will never be any need to look back with confusion and doubt. Fundamentalism is terrifying because it is based purely on emotion rather than intelligence. It prevents followers from thinking as individuals and about the good of the world. I find hope in the darkest of days and focus in the brightest. I do not judge the universe. Compassion without attachment is possible. From one viewpoint, Buddhism is a religion. From another viewpoint, Buddhism is a science of mind and not a religion. Buddhism can be a bridge between these two sides. Bodhicitta is the medicine which revives and gives life to every sentient being who even hears of it. Today we are truly a global family. What happens in one part of the world may affect us all. On my part, I remain committed to contribute my efforts for the welfare of all human beings, and in particular the poor and the weak, to the best of my ability without any distinction based on national boundaries. If there are sound reasons or bases for the points you demand, then there is no need for violence. The root of happiness is altruism, the wish to be of service to others. It is very important to generate a good attitude, a good heart, as much as possible. I feel that the essence of spiritual practice is your attitude toward others. Your Holiness, there are many people in the West who want to combine their spiritual practice with social and political responsibility. Do you feel that these two aspects are connected? I believe that in the 20th century, humanity has learned from many experiences, some positive and many negative. From the moment of birth, every human being wants happiness and freedom and wants to avoid suffering. In this, we are all the same, and the more we care for the happiness of others, the greater our own sense of each other becomes. Our own brain, our own heart is our temple. The philosophy is kindness. I believe all suffering is caused by ignorance. Within the body there are billions of different particles. Similarly, there are many different thoughts and a variety of states of mind. Once you can recognize the value of good states of mind, you can increase or foster them. If that same ideology and policy were implemented, it would have brought much admiration and happiness. However, if one is to make a general comment on the developments during the past 2 decades, there has been a lapse in economic and educational progress, the basis of human happiness. By deceiving one another through false assumptions and misrepresentations, there has been, in reality, a great lapse and delay in achieving the real goals. Our own security is enhanced when peace breaks out between warring parties in other continents. With the ever-growing impact of science on our lives, religion and spirituality have a greater role to play by reminding us of our humanity. There is no contradiction between the two. Because we all share this small planet Earth, we have to learn to live in harmony and peace with each other and with nature. That is not just a dream, but a necessity. Religion does not mean just precepts, a temple, monastery, or other external signs. For these, as well as hearing and thinking, are subsidiary factors in taming the mind. Some say I am a good person, some say I am a charlatan. I am just a monk. I am convinced that everyone can develop a good heart and a sense of universal responsibility with or without religion. My confidence in venturing into science lies in my basic belief that as in science, so in Buddhism, understanding the nature of reality is pursued by means of critical investigation. There is a saying in Tibetan that at the door of the miserable rich man sleeps the contented beggar. As we enter the final decade of this century, I am optimistic that the ancient values that have sustained mankind are today reaffirming themselves to prepare us for a kinder, happier 21st century. Conflicts do not arise out of the blue. They occur as a result of causes and conditions, many of which are within the antagonist's control. This is where leadership is important. Terrorism cannot be overcome by the use of force because it does not address the underlying problems. In fact, the use of force may not only fail to solve the problems, it may exacerbate them, and frequently leaves destruction and suffering in its wake. Whether one believes in a religion or not, and whether one believes in rebirth or not, there isn't anyone who doesn't appreciate kindness and compassion. Media people should have long noses like an elephant to smell out politicians, mayors, prime ministers, and businessmen. We need to know the reality, the good and the bad, not just the appearance. Responsibility does not only lie with the leaders of our countries or with those who have been appointed or elected to do a particular job. It lies with each one of us individually. Forgiveness doesn't mean forget what happened. If something is serious and it is necessary to take countermeasures, you have to take countermeasures. Each of us has the potential to contribute. You have a great opportunity to make a new shape of the world. For the stability and peace of Asia, it is essential to create peace zones to separate the continent's biggest powers and potential adversaries. I am deeply touched by the sincere concern shown by so many people in this part of the world for the suffering of the people of Tibet. That is a source of hope, not only for us Tibetans, but for all oppressed people. If you think you are too small to make a difference, you have never been in bed with a mosquito. According to Buddhism, individuals are masters of their own destiny, and all living beings are believed to possess the nature of the primordial Buddha Samantabhadra, the potential or seed of enlightenment within them. So our future is in our own hands. What greater free will do we need? If there is love, there is hope that one may have real families, real brotherhood, real equanimity, real peace. If the love within your mind is lost, and you see other beings as enemies, then no matter how much knowledge or education or material comfort you have, only suffering and confusion will ensue. It is necessary to help others, not only in our prayers, but in our daily lives. If we find we cannot help others, the least we can do is to desist from harming them. It is the enemy who can truly teach us to practice the virtues of compassion and tolerance.